hesitation. Got me going crazy. Keep it moving, I'm tuned in to True North Racing. The podcast that you need if you got the need for speed. John Morrison interviewing guests in the industry. Hey, short track, stock car racing. Gotta get it hype. Saturday night under the lights. Hear the engine rooming by. Smell the gas and feel the vibe. Going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing. Let's go.
Welcome back to a new episode of the True North Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Megan Mitchell, and joining me as always is John Morrison. This week on the show, we have Calvin Reesor joining us this week. But before we do that, let's get into our opening segment, newly named the Pace Lap, where John and myself will talk about our weekend at the track, catch you up on what's been going on in our lives. It's the same content you've known to love, but now we just have a name for it. So let's get into our Pace Lap. John, how was your weekend?
It was really good. We wrapped up our season at Flamboro Speedway on Saturday night, which is crazy to think that we're done, but we're going to get into that in just a second. But Megan, how's your weekend?
Eventful.
Yeah, it was a crazy night last night.
It was, yeah.
There was a lot of things going on the track, and hard to believe. I looked at the time for the pure stock race for the first one. It was 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's got to be a record. It was just incredible. It was just crazy.
It has to be, because it was crazy. I honestly didn't get to pay much attention to the rest of the divisions just because I was very focused on our team and what was going on. But I know the pure stocks at least were, you would think it's a full moon because it was just, oh my gosh. Yeah.
You can tell it was the last race of the night last night. And
yeah.
Jesus, that was just, I don't even know where to start. Like, I got to say this. First of all, congratulations to all the champions that were crowned last night at Flamboro. We had, in the pure stocks, we had Reece Bourgeois. She is the 2022 pure stock champion. Cameron Thomson is unofficially, as far as I know, hopefully we can get a confirmation on that. He told me last night he was, but we'll wait till the official word from Flamboro, that he is the 2022 Rookie of the Year. In the mini stocks, it is Bobby Mercer taking home the top spot. In the Canadian Video Modified, it's T.J Marshall wins his third championship with the club. Third championship in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And Rookie of the Year, good friend of the show. I got his hat rocking right there. Mr. Scott Tonelli taking home Rookie of the Year honors. Also the Can-Am Midgets wrapped up their season. And I think I saw that it was Cory Whittam. Number 55, taking home the championship there. But yeah, last night, just even in our division, even in the CVMs, like we had one caution overall between their two races, but the one caution we did have in the first feature, I'm not one. You seen Ronnie's car?
Yeah. I was trying to think what one that was. And then yeah. Yeah.
So T.J Marshall was on the outside of Rodney trying to make a pass. He was still behind him, but just enough, right beside him. And Ricky tried to make it a party going into 3. I could hear the brakes locking up, like he was trying to back out of there, but he dove in too late to try to take the spot away. And then catching the left rear tire of Rodney and riding his car and spinning out, bringing out the caution. And just, I will say this, I don't like showing favoritism or anything, but sometimes when you see something that shouldn't have happened, we didn't have that many cars last night. We only had 9 cars in the club come out for championship night. sometimes you just gotta be smarter behind the wheel.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that Ricky was the one that it happened to, but Rodney was able to come back out. I think he scored a top 5.
I think so, yeah.
And in that second feature, man came out with a vengeance. He went out there still, I would say whoop their tail, but like T.J Marshall was on his ass the entire race.
Yeah.
For the most part. So I got to give TJ enough credit to realize that Rodney was running a hell of a race. And Rodney was able to score his second victory. But I do have some awesome victory lane photos. Rodney went driver's side into victory lane at the end of the night. He purposely wanted pictures of that damage at the left rear.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I was like, of course Rodney would do this.
Yeah.
That sounds like Rodney's way anyways. But yeah, we crowned their champions last night, and it's sad to say that we only got 2 race weekends left here in Ontario. You know, we got Frosttoberfest next weekend. And then the following weekend is Autumn Colors. And I'm just sitting here thinking, man, where does the season? I'm thinking like, man, the season's been a long one, but at the same time, it's like we're at the end of September.
It's flown by.
By.
It feels like April was
2 months, like a month ago.
But at the same time, it was like just a few weeks ago. Like it's really crazy.
All I'm gonna say though, oops, knocked over some. All I'm gonna say is that I hope that every single team who is done and not racing in the playoffs the rest of the way, hopefully you guys enjoy your off season. And hopefully you can come back out and watch some racing. So I'm sure next weekend's there 2 days of action-packed racing. And then we can go 3 days out in freaking Peterborough for Thanksgiving weekend. It's incredible the amount of racing we're going to have. And currently, as far as I know right now, the Pinty's race down in Delaware is still running.
I did see that not long ago.
The only thing I've seen of it was there's a red flag on like the opening lap. I don't know if it was the opening lap or not, so don't quote me. But there was an accident that brought out the red flag. But going on with our theme of unfortunate events at racetracks, Cody Ware, who drives the number 51, is it a Mustang? It is a Mustang because they alliance with SHR. Cody Ware was involved in an accident today while racing in the Cup Series down in Texas. Hard hit. Probably one of the hardest hits I've ever seen, and the guy still got out and walked away. He has since been taken to the hospital. Cody, I know you're not going to listen, but we wish you all the best, and just putting it out there that this sport's scary. And I hope he feels better. Yeah, but I just wanted to put that in there because, you know, this weekend there's been a lot of carnage, so to speak, and it almost feels like you said it was a full moon. Almost felt like it was, but like the full moon was like 3 weeks ago.
Like if it says anything, second feature, the pure stock started with, I believe, 14 and 5 finished at the checkers. I'm like, and I mean, we almost met the wall quite a few times because people were just getting a little bit impatient, in my opinion. And I'm just glad we finished and it's in one piece. And body damage is just,
hey, the car's in one piece. You guys came home. One of the competitors in the pure stocks last night was laying down some fluid, and especially in 1 and 2. And
it was bad.
I honestly thought y'all had a tire going down because Alex Stewart, who was leading the race, was able to like not spin, like not even get loose, nothing. That's what it looked like. But your dad, Cam, Kyle Lucas, everyone was just getting squirrely coming out of two, in the middle of two even. I was just that was just crazy to see. Luckily, like you said, no one majorly got injured, no one got hurt. Have that feature that I was yelling like, throw a damn caution, throw a damn caution.
Yeah, I can admit I got a little heated, and I'm sitting there yelling. I'm like, you got fluid on the track.
It's
Can you
evident.
pull a caution and
Like
clean up?
five
Like,
or six laps, and y'all were
yeah,
getting loose down there. Like,
it was crazy. Like,
yeah,
luckily, once they went around so many times, and thank God, most of them, I can't even say most of them, five of them were able to hold on for dear
yeah,
life. It dried it up a bit, and the cars were sticking better, but like it took out a lot of people, and it could have been potentially very dangerous. So
absolutely.
I'm just glad it didn't end worse. But
Um, on the positive side, though, the entire night of it, after everything that happened, we got in our change for change event.
mhm.
Scott Tonelli, well, I wouldn't say Scott Tonelli spearheaded this. It was Rob Twitchett who was supposed to spearhead it, and then of course you have myself who does the social media stuff for the CVMs, promote the crap out of it, as he said. Last night we held an event at Flamboro Speedway for Scott Tonelli's Change for Change mental health initiative he does, and I have to say I think we had a really good turnout. I
Mhm.
haven't talked to Scott yet today. I've been letting him kind of enjoy the weekend and let the feeling of being the rookie of the year sink in, because that's only one thing you can win once,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You can only win rookie of the year once. Um, but yeah, he I'm hoping he got a good head start on donations for change for change. Jacqueline and myself, we looked at his, I think it's a GoFundMe. I think that's what the QR code sends you to. As of today, I saw there was $150 in there. So that's a great start in my opinion. I know it's
Mhm.
a long way from $4,000, but that's also $3,895 he
Mhm.
doesn't have to worry about to go towards his goal. Um, we are going to put the QR code down in the comments section on our YouTube page. It'll also be on our I'm also going to have it up on the website on joemedia.ca, and is going to be in our posting about the show. So if you guys have the just have the Spotify link and you guys get updated when the show is, head over to our website www.joemedia.ca. Click the post that has Calvin Reesor's race car on it, and if you guys want to donate to help out a great cause, please do. I know myself and Jacqueline, we have donated some money to it. Lots of people did last night, which was great to see, and it's going to go to a great cause. And I'm going to also tag in uh, Scott's Change for Change fundraiser page or his Facebook page, so that way you guys can see exactly what light show he's talking about. Um, if you can go, it's incredible. I love it. It's located in Arthur. Once we get all the details from Scott about that when it starts, you can bet we are going to be uh, big advocates of talking about it and getting people to go up there to go see it. Um, yeah, yeah, that was such a great event. I
Mhm.
loved it. Loved hearing Scott's story. I messed up. I'm gonna take a full blame here. I messed up. I thought I turned my GoPro off. So when I clicked it back on, when I thought I clicked it back on, it actually took me from video to time lapse. So
Oh.
I think wasn't off the entire time. So I went to picture and then went to time lapse. Then all of a sudden I'm looking at my thing, it's like 6 seconds. Oh no. And he already been talking for like 2-3 minutes.
Aw.
So here I am scrambling to stop it, get it back to video, but I got a lot of it. I think I'm hoping I got a lot of it.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna post that as its own video on the CVM YouTube page. This week's gonna be crazy busy. I gotta finalize all the footage.
Mm-hmm.
This week and next week, I gotta finalize all the footage for the banquet. Gotta send it to my buddy to get it all lined up for him. Found out I will not be able to go to the banquet this year.
Oh.
For the CVMs, as the day it is also we are taking Mav out, or my youngest son Maverick out for his birthday day. To I'm not even gonna say it just because he does listen. He has the opportunity to listen, so we're not gonna say where it is. But I will gladly tell you off air.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that day, and that entire day, November 12th. And that's funny because we were talking about that earlier
I was
too.
just gonna say, okay, so it's a good thing we didn't switch it. Like,
There was a double whammy for me. Like,
yeah, is the CVMs, do they have a separate banquet or is
yeah,
it?
they're gonna have a separate banquet.
Okay.
It's gonna suck that we can't go because it'd be cool to celebrate 3 years of champions.
Yeah.
And unfortunate. It is what it is. We already have other plans, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure the video gets to AJ and the committee, and I'm gonna make sure it's all set up for YouTube for the following day, so that way I can relax a little bit
Yeah.
uh before it gets out there. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna make sure the video is set up for them. Uh, yeah, so it's funny because we're going away in November for Rachel's birthday, and
Mm-hmm.
we're Jacqueline, myself, Megan, Garrison's going too, right?
Yeah.
Garrison, okay.
I don't know
I
why I
didn't
just
think about that for a second, eh? Rachel, Cody, uh, Rick and Debbie. That's all I can think of for right now. Is that
I
it? Is
think
there any
that's
more?
it. Yeah. Because Kate and Dale were supposed to come, but it's Kate's brother's wedding, so
Yeah.
it's not
So,
gonna work.
but before, and what's worse is I was about to go tell Jacqueline, I'm like, oh, they're thinking of switching. And I'm like looking at the dates. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Uh,
wouldn't work.
we're gonna have to figure something out again
Mm-hmm.
and get us all together because that's just a good time. Again, one of those
Mm-hmm.
days we're gonna set up a Saturday and we're gonna go karting.
Like, yeah.
Um, Jesus, I think on the Joe Media side, I know we got this new segment. We didn't really talk about it much. We did talk about our weekend at the track. Uh, we did kind of just did our life update, I guess you could say. But that's definitely going to be more throughout the off season that we talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
CVM update. There is supposed to be a meeting just over a week. So not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. I think we're trying to get the turn 1 VIP tower, and I'm gonna have to head on down, and we're gonna have our elections, end of year stuff for the committee, and of course for anyone who's interested in joining the Young Drivers Community Modified or just the CVMs in general. It's a great opportunity to come on out, learn about the club, ask questions, and be a part of be a part of it. So Joe Media Rundown, we do have to give a big shout out. I already did it to Cam Thomson and Scott Tonelli, both winning Rookie of the Year. But I am proud to announce that as Joe Media has been run on a car, we have now picked up a third championship.
Hmm.
My buddy Logan Dillon from Friendswood, Texas, picked up 2 in 1 year. He won
Wow.
the state title and the track title, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Logan, if you're listening, correct me, buddy. And then this past Friday night, Joe Lawrence in the Bone Stocks at Delaware Speedway also won the Bone Stock Championship out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to admit, not a bad start.
Definitely not.
3 years, 3 championships. Who knows what's going to happen the next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations goes out to Joe Lawrence, BT Racing in general, Chris Lawrence, because those guys, I think they brought 7 cars to Delaware on Friday night, which is a crazy amount of cars.
It is. That's a lot.
That's a lot of flipping cars. And every week it's been the same thing. They've brought up to like 9 cars one weekend. I don't know how close they were to their total of having 50 cars, but I really hope it was really, really close. If not, next year, got to get those 50 cars like first night or something. But yeah, so congratulations to Joe Lawrence, BT Racing, Scott Tonelli, Cameron Thomson, and just all the Joe Media drivers in general. You guys all had a fantastic year. Caitlin Wallace picking up her first career win. Brandon Feeney picking up his first career win. I think it was the same day too.
Yeah.
Brandon's been running it strong all year. We got a lot of great things happening behind the scenes, and I think it's only going to expand next year. Waiting on a few final pieces to fall before I release some other details for next year. But looks like next year should be a big swing in the up department in terms of just like in general everything.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a great year. As we look towards the off season, Megan, what are some things you're looking forward to?
Just relaxing, I guess. It's been a lot on me mentally, so just kind of looking forward to relaxing and prepping myself and hopefully getting my car ready to not come back, because this car's never been on the track before, but I guess for me to come back. So that's pretty much all I'm looking forward to.
Well, we're gonna have a nice long off season. I'm sure there's gonna be I'm hoping there's some good news for you guys coming down the pipe here soon about your program for next year. Yeah, I hate the off season, but I love it too. But what do you say? I think that's enough of people listening to us right now. What do you say we bring on in? Let's get on the loud pedal. Wow. How about we get onto the loud pedal now and go down Gasoline Alley with this week's guest, Calvin Reesor. Joining us now is the driver of the number 2 pure stock from Sunset Speedway, Calvin Reesor. Calvin, how are you, man?
Not so bad. Yourself?
Good. Am I saying your last name correctly? Because I feel like I've been saying it wrong.
Reeser is correct.
Okay.
I've gotten Reesor, Mercer.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm able to say it correctly, because sometimes I look at a name like, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. So
No, you're doing good.
Anyways, man, how's it going?
Not bad. Just had my birthday yesterday, so we went out for dinner tonight with the family, and now I'm on with you guys.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So let's dive right into it. Let's start off with your 2022 season. How was it?
It was good. It's like first year actually being, well, I guess it's my second year now, but other than COVID year. So I was really comfortable this year. Did really well. I had a lot of support from the crew and family, so it was a lot of fun.
So you just got started racing behind the wheel just a couple years ago then?
Yeah, last year. My first race was actually at Flamboro in the COVID thing.
So. Oh wow. How did that go for you?
Car was a lot of problems. We took it off the back hill and built it in 2 weeks, and apparently you can't do that and make it run good. So that didn't go well. And B main, and actually I got into it with Feeney. That was my first ever getting into the incident with Feeney. So didn't make the A, but we had fun. And then I decided that this is something I'm going to do. So I went and bought a new car, and now I've run it for 2 years.
Nice. Who was so where'd you buy the car? Who'd you buy the car off of?
Craig Cole from Delaware.
Okay. That guy's always fast.
Just
Very
so
fast.
good.
Yeah, I watched it at Frost Fest do really well, and I'm like, that seems like a good car to go buy. So
I'd say so.
Yeah, so and he was a really good guy to deal with. Gave me like pretty much a starter kit. Gave me extra motor, tires, parts.
Nice. Yeah, that's always good to have. So you kind of hit the nail on the head here. You just started a couple years ago. How long have you been involved? Have you been involved in racing long? Was it just a couple years ago or?
No, my stepdad has raced 23 years, 24 years. So I was always at the track as a kid. I've always been around it. And then from there, we've had friends and family grow up around the track. So I've been at it for a while in the pits.
Who's your stepdad?
Frank Davey. He races the 49. Or he did. He sold it. He's retired now.
Yeah. That guy was also a wheel man.
Yes. It's a lot to live up to sometimes when you get told, yo, you should be okay. You got Frank. Well, he doesn't know anything about front wheel drive cars. So
that guy's raced just a lot of rear wheel drive cars, eh?
Pretty much Camaros, and he had a couple Malibus, and so all rear wheel.
Oh wow. So being around racing growing up and stuff like that, what are some of the things that you've noticed over the years that have really changed about the sport?
A lot more people take it seriously now, I find. I guess the money goes up, car gets cost more, so they take it a lot more serious. Like before, you just go there and see your buddies, drink beers, and have fun on the track. I see the car counts went down a lot, but I think that's just also with the times. You can go to track on a Saturday, there'd be guys racing the B-mains every weekend, and now we're lucky to see a B-main.
You know, that's the one thing about the sport. I find it still has its ups and downs. I will always say that as one proponent, I think has been a negative but a positive at the same time, has been social media.
Yeah,
which is weird to say because this is what we do, and like with this, we talk about racing, but meanwhile, we're just like, yeah, people are gonna have their good days and bad days. You know, there's times where I feel like Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and all that jazz is kind of giving voices to some drivers who may not need them to exploit themselves.
Drivers and fans, I find fans say a lot more than any driver will.
So I run the CVM, the Canadian Modified social media. I run the Flamboro Speedway social media, plus obviously all Joe media stuff. So whenever anyone writes anything negative, I gotta leave it alone. But at the same time, like I want to just go in, but I can't because then it looks bad. It looks worse.
Yeah.
Right. It's incredible. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about you. I just go on these rants. You've listened to the show a little bit here now, so like I'll just go on random rants. Megan, have you ever gotten a chance to race against Calvin yet, or no?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know. Like I've only raced Flamboro once, and that was it. I know number 99 then. I'm 2 now.
Yeah, and if it was with Feeney, then I don't think I've raced with Feeney before, to be honest.
I didn't know who he was until after that. So
now Feeney's a character.
It was a racing deal, so it wasn't anything mad about it. I was having fun. I'm sure he might have took it that way, but I was learning. So
hey, in bone stock, that's where that's where you got to learn, right?
Oh yeah, it's definitely you can definitely tell who's learning and who's been at it for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of that, who have been some of the guys you've looked up to learn how to drive these things?
Chris, my crew guy, he's ran front wheel drive for a very long time before he moved to Thundercar. Very fast in front wheel drive car. Watched him a lot. Not to boost Phil's ego, but Phil, he's been fast everywhere. It's like, and before that, I really didn't pay attention. I was in the beer garden slamming beers during the bonus stock races. So, and Newmeister is very fast at Sunset. That's where we always were. He's won everything there. So,
well, those are some good guys to be looking up to figure out how to drive these things. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I just had a drink there. I just had a burp. Now, I don't know. For myself, I don't like to learn about the guests. I like to let the guests teach us about themselves. So why don't you tell us a little bit about ourselves, and then we can continue our conversation here.
Yeah, like I said, I've been around the track forever, helping Frank Well, drinking Frank's beer, actually. Been around for a long time. And then he was starting to slow down a bit, getting older, not as out in the shop as much. So I'm like, oh, let's build a car for me. He was all for it. So we did that. And then I watched that car didn't work out very well. It's gone now. Then we did that. Got this one back from Craig and raced it for a year. Came second in points to boys, and he's very fast in these cars too. And then we redid the car over the winter. Chris spent lots of time up at Streamline at Sean's recorder shop. Redid the cage, made sure it's safe. And then just went from there this year, having fun.
That's actually really good. Now, running Sunset, what is that like? Because I've been there only maybe a handful of times, so I don't know much about how these cars especially race. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sunset's big track, well, wide track anyway. I wouldn't say it's very big, but for how wide it is, you can do a lot of 3 wide cleanly, hopefully. And you can squeeze your 4. I did a couple times this year, not on purpose, but I needed to go, so I went. Very clean at Sunset most of the time. We're not wrecking cars every night, which is nice. I feel it's a little bit slower than Peterborough, to be honest. As much as it's Sunset's high banked and stuff, Peterborough feels faster. It feels like you're going way faster on the straightaways. And it's a lot big turning track. 1 and 2 is way different than 3 and 4 at Sunset. I don't know what it is, but if you ask anyone that's driven there, they'll say the same thing. You're either good through 1 and 2 and okay through 3 and 4, or you're good through 3 and 4 and hope to survive 1 and 2.
I've heard that.
That's the first time I've ever heard actually that though. I love Sunset. Sunset's a fantastic track. I've been up there for a Pinty's race, for a weekly nights race. And other than that, I've maybe been like back when I was like 10 years old. It's almost 20 years ago now. Jesus Christ, I'm old.
Yeah, I just turned 30 yesterday, so I know the feeling.
Dude, I turned 30 back in July. So hold on, so sorry. So obviously racing at a track like Sunset, it's got its quirks. What's one of the hardest things about that make that track difficult to drive? Obviously, besides the how the corners drive.
Definitely the cornering, and if your car is not handling properly, you gotta make sure you nail that setup before you go out. It's very easy to have a good car in practice, and then something goes wrong, you miss setup, and all of a sudden your car will not turn through 1 and 2, and it's just terrible. You fight the car. It's very tough track to have to fight your car at, because you can lose so much speed coming off the corner, and then your night's just not fun anymore for you.
That's the one thing I think I've noticed. It is a very momentum track.
Yes, very much so. If you can keep your speed, you're doing okay.
Which to me is kind of funny because I don't know if you know about this guy or not, but I think he's up from that way. His name it's a business he has, and it's called NASCAR Bob.
Yeah, I've seen the car.
You know exactly
town.
what I'm talking about, right? So this guy has a slot. Essentially, it's not a slot car, but it's like they're remote control cars. But to me, the track layout he has reminds me so much of Sunset. Like when he has because the corners are banked, or not the corners, sorry, the straightaways are banked, and you don't notice it, but like I find the front straightaway is you're walking up a hill.
Yeah, you definitely feel the incline there, especially on the high side.
Yeah. So like these same kind of a deal. Those these little RC cars, you have to carry the momentum through the corner to really like you're not letting off the throttle when you're going, but like that's what I mean though. Is like the momentum. If you break momentum at all, you're done. It takes 2 laps, 3 laps to get back up to it. Would you say that's like a big learning curve to not over break the corner, but to be able to keep the momentum up to exit the corner?
Yeah, finding like the sweet spot for where to brake and where to get back on the throttle is very difficult there. I'm coming from like when I first started, I had such a big rear wheel drive influence from Frank and everyone that I was braking way too early to get back on the throttle, and I lose all momentum. And now Chris has taught me that. Well, if up to Chris, I probably wouldn't even brake, to be honest with you. But he's taught me a lot on where to brake and how to carry speed. So it's very, very lucky to have him.
Definitely. I think that's what you need, is just having that one person to tell you where to hit those marks. That was my biggest learning curve, and I still don't have it figured out, to be honest.
When we go out, he'll even put his hand through the fence on the front stretch to say, "This is where I want you to try to drive to." And the first time I did it, I looped it because I didn't overshot his hand.
No. So is your racing line like similar to everyone else at Sunset then, or do you kind of have your own?
I look at the lineup a lot to see what I'm gonna. So you just have an idea in your head what you're gonna try to do. Once you're there, it goes away. But I find I ride the high line a little more often than I probably should. I leave gaps sometimes, and it is what it is. But I'm comfortable with it. Car likes it there, and if I have to change it, then I will. But for now, it works okay.
Nice.
Looking for, so obviously we're kind of coming up to the end of the season here. Do you see yourself traveling to any of the quote unquote playoff tracks for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Frostfest. There used to be this Saturday, Sunday, race Sunday, I think. I'll go to Frostfest and then Peterborough for sure. I'll be there.
Now this is for knowledge for myself. What are some things you're looking forward to going from a track like Sunset to Flamboro, then to Peterborough? What are some of the changes you think you're going to have to make before you go into the to each track?
Flaming came with their like universal rules everyone has to run, so I have to go over the car and make sure it meets the new rules they have, plus the home track rules. And then Peterborough, I don't think we changed too much for there. There's not much we can change other than the tire pressures. But I'm looking forward to Flamboro, just because I said the first time I ever raced there, I didn't make the A. So that's the goal this time. I'm sure we'll have tons of cars there. So making the A is the first goal, and then second goal is see how far I can get up there. Peterborough, I'm looking forward to the party. It's a good time every year.
Screw the racing, just it's a party. Like but it is though. It's so the stories that you hear come out of Autumn Colors is astounding.
Well, I wasn't even allowed to go until I was 16. My Frank Speedway forever. Oh yeah, that's an adult weekend. It's a kid-free weekend. That's what we're doing. So when I hit 16, I was like, okay, well, you can come this year. So I've been going since I was 16.
So this is your 14-year mark of going.
Yeah.
Thank God we're both like 30 now, so it's easy. It's quick math for me. Like, oh, looking back, oh,
yeah. No, like the party there is unreal. Like, I feel like everyone just kind of lets loose. They know they got all winter to fix their cars if something happens, and they kind of just let loose and have fun and enjoy the moment we're there.
Now, when you're there, what are some things you're looking forward to in regards to the racing? Like, how do you think it's going to stack up, like compared to car counts?
Well, last year they had tons of cars, so they had to run a B main for there, which is always fun to see. The B mains have always been exciting at Peterborough. Haven't had to do one yet, so that's good. Fingers crossed I'm going to do it this year. I'd rather watch those. Hopefully I can get a better starting spot. I went into practice, looped it, didn't really trust myself anymore. So I had a rough go in my heat, started like 24th, and I prefer to start probably like 10th there. There's a lot of carnage that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I find, to me, at Delaware, not Delaware. I don't know what the hell I said Delaware. I got to go to Peterborough for my first visit this year. And just to be at the facility, like in general, you get this sense of like I go to Flamboro. I think Megan feels the same way. When we go to Flamboro, as soon as we pull off of fifth concession, our blood pressures go up. But I pulled into Peterborough and I was just like vacation mode. I did some in-car stuff with Feeney, but like I didn't feel like doing it once I pulled in. I was just like, man, this is relaxing. I just pass me a beer, just let me relax.
Yeah, that's one place. Like, as much as I want to say I was nervous the first year going, I just felt like I've already been here, even though I've never raced it, just because I've watched this for so long. It makes you feel comfortable. I don't know what it is about that track, but you just feel like, yeah, this is fun, and then you just enjoy your day.
Actually, this is something because Megan and I haven't talked about this. Is your dad going to run next weekend Frostfest too, or are you guys done for the year?
He sold his car. Tyler Hahn bought it, so he hasn't raced this year at all.
Okay.
I've been trying to get him in my car just to say he did it, and he tells me no. He will not. He's a big dude.
Goodness.
He's 6'2". I'll say pushing 300 to be nice to him, but so the center window is not very forgiving to get into.
No, they're not. Man, it's gonna be a busy couple weeks then.
Yeah.
So are you gonna try to keep your nose clean at Flamboro while still trying to be up front there?
Yeah, like I said, if I make the A, I've already checked off doing better than the first time there. I would love to get up there and battle for a win, but realistically, top 10 would be just as happy.
Yeah, that's to me, like, even just general at Flamboro, if you make the A main and you have a shot at that igloo, like,
it's a cool trophy.
Mm-hmm.
To me, like, we got cool trophies all around the province for like different things, but for sure the igloo is the one you want.
Yeah, like that, motivating to go, that's for sure.
That's for sure. I was gonna say, Megan, is that a trophy you want to accomplish as well to get to?
Eventually. I'm not very, I don't know. Maybe in a couple of years I'll try, but we're not going to Frost. We'll be at Frosttoberfest, but not with the car. So maybe someday.
Well, if the pure stocks are running Sunday, there's a good possibility I'll be at the track so that I'll be able to come up to and actually introduce myself if you guys are racing on the Sunday. But yeah, I love the bone stocks and pure stocks because I do find they put on some of the best racing because it's an entry level class. And so you got people who have been running it for 5-10 years. And then you got guys like Calvin here who've run it for 2 years. And judging by some pictures here, you've already ended up in victory lane.
I was just going to ask about that because I've seen some pictures and I'm like, that's impressive.
Yeah, I won. So last year, didn't win anything. I won a couple heats. And then this year, I picked up 3. Picked up my first one a couple weeks in, and then went back to back. And then I won my last one. We did a double header at Sunset. I won the Saturday again. So I won 3. Car has 4 for this year, but I only won 3.
Nice.
That's awesome. So crossing the line for your first win, well, like for a win, what did that feel like for you?
Well, I did like the hand thing out the window that everyone does, but my window net's bigger than my window, so I was like punching the window net instead of actually getting my hand out there. Going down the back stretch when I figured like as long as I don't mess up 3, I'll have this. I was shaking the steering wheel in the car. Like it was a big feeling to win the first one, just because Chris and I put so much work into this thing. Yeah, everyone at home too put a lot of work into it, so it felt good to like validate the effort we put in over the winter.
Absolutely. Like I've been saying for I think 2 years now, just personally, that the pure stocks have come such a long way from where they were, and that's no longer a division where you can leave your car in a sea can at Flamborough or just leave it on a trailer for a weekend. You now got to do a lot more. It seems like, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong there, but it seems like there's a lot more work that needs to be put into it, almost as much as like a mini stock to be able to get it race ready again.
Oh yeah, like if I say we load the car up on Saturday night and I leave it till like Monday, I have messages from Chris, from my stepdad, from my mom even. So when we're working on the car, I'm like, we just ended. Like the car came off one piece. It's good. I'll check it this week. That's not good enough. You got to come now. Okay, let's guess we're working on this car then.
You got to spend at least a night or two on these cars to one go over what wear and tear parts, nut and bolts.
Yeah.
And then another night just to do not to do the nut and bolt the second night. Sorry, and prep your car, prep your trailer for the weekend just to go run for 60, 70 laps or so. Now for me as an outsider for Sunset, you guys run 2 sets of heats and then your feature.
Yep.
So I've gone through, and I'm trying to make sense of this, because to me, if I see one heat and you're going to reverse it, I expect the same cars from that heat in the next heat. But there's been times I've seen cars from, heat 1 and heat 4 with some in mix and match. How do the track set up the lineup rules there?
So it's supposed to be, you draw your numbers when you get there. That sets up your heats. And then you run your first heat, and then you invert the whole field, like starting order for your second heat. So say you're in the first heat, you're now in heat 3, and he's reversed the starting order. Okay. Now, this year, race monitor, I guess that's what you go off of when you're not there. Being terrible. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes they have it on. Sometimes they don't. So it is very hard to follow on race monitor some nights. Even like I'll check it just to see what our times were, and I'm not even on there. So
I was gonna say, because I have 3 drivers that run Sunset. I have 2 mini stock drivers and a super stock driver that run there. And sometimes I'm like, oh, let me go check their heat. And I check their heat 1 or whatever heat they're in. Then I go to the next heat, and it's like, why is this guy here when they were, going through? And so I wasn't sure if they changed up the heats or if they kept them the same and just, or whatever.
Sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, I know it's supposed to be the same people in your first heat with the same guys you race in your next heat.
Okay. I just, like I said, it's just one of those things that as an outsider, like I can look up Flamboro, and I can, even though some things are out of order, I can understand where certain things are. But if I'm looking at Sunset to get my results for our write-ups, it does make it a little more difficult when you're trying to find certain things. It's like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. And going forward, do you see yourself moving up to another division? Do you see you joining like a mini stock rank, super stock?
I would love to, but it's just not in the budget. Like, we had fun, and this class is fun to race. Like, yes, you take it serious, but at the same time, you can also go to any convenience store pretty much and pick up a part for these things. So
yeah,
it's not like the budget's not there to go up. So unless I hit the lottery, you'll know, because will no longer be in a bone stock car.
You'll be in a super late model down in the States and
something way above my driving bill.
That's what I always sound like. You'll never know that I won the lottery, but there will be subtle hints.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll show up to the track, never raced before, and I'll just be with a toter home stacker trailer.
Yeah.
And offload the cleanest looking pure stock you ever seen. That would be something I would do, though. I'm not gonna lie. I would just sit at the back, just like, man, the price of racing is outrageous. just to be that guy, just for a weekend, I would just do that. Honestly, I don't blame you for staying in the pure stocks, because they do put on some of the great racing at every track. I wish I was able to see more video footage from Sunset Speedway in the bone stock. You guys don't have anything like a pedal power, do you?
No, actually, we don't have anything like that. So it's kind of just like, if someone's going live, or if, like, I don't run my GoPros all the time, but if I have those, that's about it. Like, there's no one really in the stands filming for us. I mean, I'm gonna watch Pedal Power's features from Flamboro here in a second after this, but I look forward to it. It's nice to see.
They're gonna be good. I'm gonna tell you that much right now.
I heard it was exciting, so check that out. But I wish someone would for Sunset. Like, we don't have the car count like Delaware, definitely not Delaware's car count, but even Flamboro's, like, we run, I think there's 12 of us a night. We still put on a good show, I think. Anyway,
that's the same about what Flamboro has per night.
Yeah.
So, like, even still, but I find like
it's tighter at Flag. I find, like, watching the videos, the racing's a lot tighter at Flamboro compared to Sunset. Sunset's very easy to spread out. And
Flamboro, you got it's also a momentum track, but it's less compared to Sunset. But you still gotta. But you're right, though. The cars at Flamboro, they're able to stay more tightly together compared to a Sunset, where when I see pictures, it seems like there's like a car every quarter turn almost like that. I would love to see more videos from Sunset because Sunset is, in my opinion, one of the nicest looking facilities in Ontario.
It's very nice there. I enjoy it. I've been going there since I've seen it go from like back in the '90s up till now, and it's a very clean, very nice place to go. That's why I like invitationals at Sunset because it gets a bigger car count and you actually fill the track. It doesn't look so spotty.
Absolutely, because like I guess I was up there a couple years ago, maybe like three, about 3 years ago now was the last time I was at Sunset. Wow. Oh, Morgan Robson, if you're listening, I'm taking you up on your offer next year. I'm coming up to Sunset for a night. That 3 years is long enough. It's weird like seeing the numbers in my head, like how long I've been at a track. Like I've been to Delaware since 2015. First time I went to Sauble in 10 years, over 12 years now. Like
I gotta say, last time I went to Delaware, I was helping Sean McWhirter.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long ago that was. Like that was the first time and only time I've ever been there. It looks great on TV though.
Oh yeah. I was helping out late model driver David Elliott from 2008 through 2015-ish, 2016. We raced there full time in 2009. Yeah, 2009 we ran there full time. 2009, 2010. I'll tell you this much: that drive was a killer.
Dope. I think it was. I'm 3 hours away from it, so.
So, whereabouts are you? You're up by Barrie, right?
Yeah, I'm in Springwater.
Okay,
which is just north of Barrie.
So where I used to live was just southeast of Orangeville, in a town called Erin. And I went to high school in Guelph.
Wow.
So that's about 45. It was about a 45-minute bus ride. And my brother went to high school in town. I went to a tech school in Guelph, and that's why we went to two different high schools. But my stepdad is Ed Askin. They would drive the truck and trailer from Waterdown, which is by Flamboro, to Erin, which is about an hour away, on Wednesday or Thursday night. Friday they would leave. He would leave and come pick with my brother, and then pick me up at about 2:00 in the afternoon from Guelph, and then head out towards Delaware for the night.
Just an eventful day.
Oh, dude, I didn't sleep. I don't like sleeping in cars either. So coming home, we wouldn't leave till 1 o'clock. So we wouldn't get home till 3:00 in the morning on a Saturday, and I couldn't sleep the entire drive home.
That's kind of cool too. I like the Friday race. It's kind of a cool idea.
I like going to Oswego.
I've been to one dirt track. It was Merrittville back in, I don't even know when that was either, but we did it once. We found a sweet parking spot, and it apparently wasn't so sweet. We parked right behind the corner.
Oh.
We wondered why there was no one parked there, and we're like, "Oh, right here, it's perfect." No, it wasn't. It was not perfect. We had dust coming through the vents. Like driving home, we put the AC on, dust coming through the vents. Like this is not a good idea.
I do have to admit, I love Delaware. Jesus Christ, going again with Delaware, Merrittville Speedway. If you ever down that way, go stop off and get some of that pizza. And they have a smokehouse out front now. Go get yourself some smoked meat from there. It is to die for. Absolutely delicious. I think that's a weekend journey I want to make. I want to do Oswego Friday night, camp out, go to Merrittville Saturday night, camp out, go to Humberstone Sunday and camp out.
We kind of did the same thing one year. We did took our trailer. Frank was racing I think it was APC or something. I'm not even sure if it was APC. We went to Sauble. We camped there, loaded up, went to Varney, camped there on their 2-day show. It was fun. A lot of partying in 2 days.
Oh yeah, it's you know what's awesome about TikTok is seeing it. If you're not maybe not following someone, but you can see their adventures at another track. And I don't know if you all seen the video of Cole Neverhand Dude,
I actually don't have TikTok. That is one thing I refuse to get. I'll watch the fiance's TikTok if she's on it, but I will not download it just to say I don't have it.
Yeah, Colden Everingham did one the other night, did one of the TikTok trends. And it seems like the numbers are pretty good on it. So
Was that with Dana?
yes.
Okay. I saw that one, yeah.
I was talking to AJ. I don't know how that man's done it. Like he was at Delaware till 3 a.m. and came to Flamboro the next day and raced.
Wow.
Yeah. AJ was saying I left the track at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning and he was out there still partying going. So I don't know if he even had to come all the way back to Barrie or wherever he lives to go get his car and then come back. But yeah, I got to give it to that man.
Dedication, that's for sure.
Dedication. And I'm sure he was back there today to go help out with Ray Morneau with the Pinty's deal. Anyways, man, I think we're gonna get into our fan question period now.
Sounds good.
So Megan, you want to tee us up there?
Yes. Okay. William_Trillium said, "Is there a track you haven't raced at that you'd like to race at?"
I do want to do Delaware. That looks fun. We had to fix the trailer, so that's kind of why we didn't go this weekend. But next year, I'm taking a little bit of time off to get married, so I'll probably fly down there on a Friday night and go try to race those guys.
Mm. And I feel like I'm going to pronounce his last name wrong. Is it Allard? Chris
Yep.
Allard? Okay. He said, "What cheating parts do you use?"
Yeah, that's Chris that helps me all the time, the crew chief. So if I did have cheating parts on it, he put them there, and I don't know.
Well, as long as you don't know, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
I can just claim no idea.
Just play dumb. I don't know how they got there. It's at the car's at his house. I just show up with my race suit. Yeah. So actually that I didn't even tee us up properly, and I need to put that into our little show sheet we got. I gotta edit that afterwards. But first off, we want to thank you for answering our taking the time to answer our fan questions. For anyone listening who's going to be a future guest, every Sunday we do put out there. Actually, it's going to be Monday here soon. We're going to break that down afterwards. Sunday or Monday going forward here, and we'll put out who will be our guest will be that week. And send in your questions to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Well, just more or less Facebook and Instagram. I don't really use much Twitter much. I run so many social media accounts. I can't keep them all straight half the time. And yeah, if you guys got a question for one of our guests, just drop it below in the comments. Going back to that real quick though, I accidentally put up that Sobel was racing. I accidentally put up a whole thing on Instagram saying that Sobel was racing, but it was all Flamboro's pit notes. And it was supposed to go onto the CVM page.
Wow.
That's a mess up. And then I didn't realize till someone commented. It's like wrong track. I'm like, yeah, wrong track. But like I have an iPhone SE, okay? So like the lettering is still small. But like I'm also not looking at the words, I'm looking at the picture. So Sobel and CVNs both have a predominantly white background. So I had to showcase the logo. And I just clicked I was like, oh, that looks like it. Need to learn to take an extra second.
Should have just made it a contest real quick. You win. You pointed it out. Here's a hat.
You win. You get 2 free tickets to this week, courtesy of me. Like,
yeah.
Because it was May, so it was before even Sobel was running. Yeah, so there's a bonehead of the year move for me there. I don't know. Yeah, I was going to go somewhere with that. Actually, not with that, but a different thing. But Calvin, anyways, before we get going here, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about. One is what is your plans for the off season?
The off season, we got to take this motor out, refresh it. It's it's not happy anymore. So it's good enough to last the year, hopefully, but you got to take it out, just refresh it up a bit. And then plan a wedding, pretty much. That's my plan for the off season. Then we'll get it ready for we'll run probably all the invitationals next year and a couple races here and there. But other than that, it's no big rush for me to get it done. I say that as the fiance is sitting over there.
There goes my next question. I was going to say, what are your plans for the 2023 season?
Yeah, just run here and there. No points or anything like that. Just go have some fun on days we're not busy doing other things and show up and hopefully pick up a couple trophies here and there.
So the next year is maybe a season you tend to travel a little bit more.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. To travel a bit and just take it easy and have fun.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's all you need to know. We were talking about traveling this summer. Most I went to was Oshwegan and Sawhole. Like,
well, we have a brand new camper we bought. I think it's not brand new; it's 3 years old. And I think the only place we have camped this year is Sunset. So,
hey, I hear Sunset's a huge party anyway. So I mean,
yeah, that's usually a good fall velocity is a huge one usually.
Now, actually, this leads into another question because of that. What do you think if this is something that we brought up last year with Jeff LaFlemme? Well, him and I talked about it off air, but it's something I feel like we need for the sport here in Ontario, and I think it would be fantastic if all the tracks closed. Let's say like their last races of their regular season was September 10th ish. And then going forward from there, tracks like Sunset, Flamboro have a 3-race deal between Sunset, Flamboro, and Autumn Colors, and have a season within a season, but playoff kind of deal. What do you think? Do you think that would be something that would be viable for the divisions to, one, carry car counts over to each event, so that way each race has a max car count, or do you think that would be a bad idea?
Oh, it's always a good idea if you get more cars out. Like I said the same thing before. Like if we always end on the same night, there's no reason that everyone couldn't go to the next race. If everyone's points ended on the same night, there's no reason everyone couldn't go to Velocity. Everyone couldn't go to Frostfest. It's a big deal, like especially if something does happen at Velocity and you're points racing at Flamboro still.
Yeah,
you don't want to, and you're in the points there. It's kind of hard to scramble that week for sure.
Especially with this past year was good because the go-karts had the track for that weekend for at Flamboro. So a lot of the drivers would be able to make it up there. I'm thinking if we made a season within a season, so that way, like, whoever wins, the guy who wins Sunset Fall Velocity takes home $1,500, wins, collects 40 points. Do you think that would give him more incentive to go to Flamboro if there was let's say a pool of like $5,000 to win between 3 races?
Oh yeah, money motivate anyone to get going if they want it bad enough. So I would be down for it. It's always fun. Like I said, some guys might not want to do it because of the traveling thing, but if all of a sudden you're leading that point series, there's $5,000 at the end of it, you might want to saddle up and go.
That's where I'm thinking is if we can get some people lined up, especially because we got to look at the grassroots, because the late models and the super stocks, they're starting to take off to the next level now with the quick wick and the APC stuff.
Yeah.
So if we did something like this for the mini stocks and the pure stocks, and that's the thing, is we can do this for mini stocks, pure stocks, super stocks, and late models, and have 3-race deals. Because I think late models were also included at Fall Velocity.
The pros were.
The pros were.
I think the limited. No,
there was a couple limited that were allowed. If I think
they ran as a pro.
Yeah, because I remember seeing some stuff like that. I think it's one of those things. If the APC series, instead of going this late into September, backed it up to, let's say September 17th, then, or the week prior to the start of this, then it could give teams a chance to really go collect another payday.
Yeah, I always said the same thing. Like back in the day, they had a traveling series. I don't know if it was for I guess they were just late models back then. And Thundercars, they did a traveling between Barrie and Sunset.
Yeah.
Their own points thing between those two tracks. So that was always cool because I had to partake in it because my stepdad. But it was kind of cool because like they plan their weekends right. So you race Sunset one weekend, everyone was there. The next weekend they go to Barrie and race everyone there. Then they made T-shirts and it was fun. I'm sure the drivers enjoyed it.
I love the dual races they kind of do. Something similar like that.
Like us and Flamboro's, our rules are pretty much the same, other than a couple things here and there. And like that'd be a fun one going back and forth from there. But who am I? I just drive.
This is something I feel like we're missing on here in Ontario. We're dropping the ball on is we're all looking at bottom line profits when I feel like we can have, and yet again, it's one of those things. If we can get G-Force to broadcast them, what's stopping us? Well, besides not having deep enough pockets. I don't have deep enough pockets to pull this off. But if I did, like, if I had like $100,000 laying around, you can guarantee I would be like doing the whole thing. I'd be like, this would be fantastic to do. But I think going forward, it would be great for the sport. It would be great for racing here in Ontario, and it'd be another opportunity for racers to think, they have that option where it's not just a payday in terms of prize money, but it's also a payday in terms of at the end if they get all three races in.
I think bragging rights is a big thing too for people.
The which one?
The bragging rights. If you can beat the best of the best at all three, then you can say you're the best in Ontario at the moment.
Exactly. That's the way I'm looking at it. Right? You fall velocity. You got to say you're at the fall velocity, but how many people can say they're all three?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any, to be honest.
This is something I think here in Ontario they need to look at. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that, being a Sunset guy, and you guys kind of starting off the playoff picture here in Ontario. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that, see if that was something you think that would be great for the sport here in Ontario.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you can get the car counts up, the fans like it. I'm sure they don't enjoy watching 6 cars go around sometimes. But if you get the crowd there, the cars behind it, like it's a win-win for everyone. You get exposure, you get new fans who don't really watch it all the time, or cars you don't see all the time.
I think you're absolutely right there. I think we're about just ready to wrap up here. Is there anyone you want to thank for getting you here through the season, through your racing career? Anyone you want to talk about?
First and foremost, gotta thank the fiance. She puts up with a lot. Chris's wife too. I steal them all the time. Shannon, Chris, my stepdad Frank, my mom, and then my sponsors, of course, Barrie Auto Trim, Barrie Nissan. They stepped up huge again this year. For Highway 400 Transmission, Greywood Customs, Holland Rustic, Streamline Race Products. Thank you. Who else we got there? Bullseye Axe Throwing, One Stop Performance and Exhaust, One Stop Muffler and Brake, and Shepherd's Ducks. I'm having a little voice in the back of my head over there.
I heard that. I was like, I'm not hearing things, am I?
Oh, no, that is why she's the best. Oh, and Race Wives Designs. That is the fiance's shirt making stuff. She has all of our shirts for us. So any shirt you see, she did it. And there's some appropriate ones and there's some not so appropriate ones.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
I
Calvin,
forgot anyone. I'm sorry.
Well, Calvin, we want to thank you for joining us this week on the True North Racing Podcast. I'll be definitely for you if, like I said, if depending on what the schedule is looking like for Frosttoberfest, I'll see if you guys are racing Sunday. I might be able to see you guys there. But good luck the rest of the season and enjoy your off season.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Have a great night now. Okay.
See you guys.
And we're back, even though we didn't go anywhere. We're back. we're gonna figure out some stuff. I'm gonna have some outro music over this off season. You're gonna start noticing subtle differences about the show. But now we're gonna go into our last our last segment of the night, and that's gonna be Last Lap. And in these ones, we're gonna just talk about our interview and obviously where fans can catch us next week. And again, it's one of those things. It's weird for me to say, like, you know, we record these the day after the races happen,
Mm-hmm.
and we're already trying to like plan where we're going to be the following weekend. I never thought about that when I was when I was typing these up.
Yeah, but I mean, I typically know where I'm gonna be, and I feel like you do too, because you're
Yeah.
pretty much where the CVMs are, unless
Well,
they're up. There's a chance somewhere else. I don't know.
well, next year is going to look a lot different
Mm-hmm.
for me. May not catch me as much as anyone would like to at Flamboro. Gonna definitely. I know, I'm dead serious.
I was gonna make a sarcastic comment.
All right, what were we gonna say? What were we gonna say?
Yes. I'm kidding.
Oh, I see how it is. I'm sure there's people who are gonna be happy that I'm not gonna be there.
I'm kidding.
I get it. Y'all don't like me. I get
Like,
it.
I had a moment of like, wait, you can't be serious.
Unfortunately, I am. Next year is gonna look a lot different in how Joe Media is gonna be represented. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna show up at Flamboro, but there may be times I'm not a part of the CVMs when I'm there, or if I come, it may be a weekend where I'm not, the CVMs aren't racing. Maybe, I don't know yet, but
Mm-hmm.
you will be able to catch me at Flamboro next year. But I want to take a step back from the race day stuff at Flamboro. And I want to focus a lot on Joe Media, and where my life's going to go here over the off season. I want to see where things progress. That's the ultimate goal here, because I want to see where I can take this. And I feel like I'm in a position where next year is going to be such a big upswing. I don't know where I'm going to end up, what's going to happen. And I'm not saying the CVMs are holding me back, because I'm very appreciative of what they've done. I do plan on staying with the CVMs as their media guy. Even if we can find someone else to just help me transition, so I can transition someone into the role. Doesn't matter. I want to build a team of people to help me and deliver better content.
Yeah.
His last night at Flamboro, I felt so underwhelmed. When I saw guys walking around with professional camera crews.
Yeah,
Did you see them?
I did.
And I'm like, I got a $500 GoPro here. Like, I got $1,000 worth of GoPros here. Like, I'm way underdeveloped here.
Better than our like $100 Amazon camera.
But that's the thing, is I'm just like, man, like, they don't get me wrong, we're still gonna do the podcast. As far as I know, we're still gonna do the podcast next year. But there's maybe some changes going on down the road. In from behind the scenes, not on the show, but behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope everything just works out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love doing this. I love coming on here each week, talking to someone new, or talking to someone like Wally Wilson 3 times, or Cam Thomson, or you know. But it's one of those things. CVMs have been nothing but great for me for the past 3 years. I feel like I have grown a lot as a person. They've been incredible for the past 3 years, and it's one of those things. It's weird to say that, it's one of those things that's weird to say, because I reached out to John Carly in January of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
not expecting anything. And I have met some incredible people along the way with the CVMs. Even with Joe Media growing the way it has this year, we have 32 drivers on 29 cars representing the Joe Media brand. And to me, that's just remarkable. Like, I'm so, I don't even know the words to describe it. It's been incredible. But yeah, 2023 is going to look a lot different. I'm looking forward to things that'll happen. Megan, I want you on this journey. Please don't get choked up over there. He's like, please don't tell me I made you upset.
No.
Okay. I'm just sitting over there. I'm looking at you. I'm like, oh, I don't want to upset you. But I want you on this journey with Joe Media. You've been a big supporter, and I want you a part of this growth. Whether or not you choose to accept that or not, if you want to, like,
declined. I'm kidding.
Yeah, decline. I'll be like, oh, this is wow, this is an awkward spot now.
I'm kidding.
I know, but yeah, there's a lot of things I'm gonna have to look through over the off season, and yeah, I want to make this the best we can, and that starts now. That started with me dropping the website before I even had her actually fully prepared.
Yeah,
I was literally like, I had it like 90% done. I'm like, oh, that's fine, send it out.
It's too exciting to just not.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I was dying every time you send me updates. I'm like, hurry,
hurry, because I included your sister on our supporters page, and I showed you it, and I was like, don't tell your sister, like, don't tell her until the website drops. And the website actually dropped for like 2 days before I even like announced it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like a drop, like, boom, it's live now, post about it. No, it was like that Sunday when I made that first post from the website. That was like the first.
Right.
I was like, let's do it now. I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about. I just feel like I just went on this long ass stupid rant for no reason. Like,
I think we started with where we're gonna be this weekend, and now we're talking about next year.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, because we're coming to the end of the race season, so like, we do got to discuss our plans for next year, right? And those plans are in the works, and we got to see. We're gonna see where we're all at. I'm gonna be stupid here because I don't remember. Did I even ask you what your plans are for next year?
I don't know. We might have talked about something briefly. But...
I was just sitting here being like an asshole because I just went on this long, like, 10-minute talk about next year and what the CVMs have done for me.
I don't even know if I have actually. I don't have set plans for next year anyway.
Yeah.
It's more so like a hope. Like I have a wish list.
Yeah.
I hope to be back in a car, but if it doesn't work that way, then we still have the G5, so I'm gonna give it to my dad because I'm not gonna take that away from him. He's having a lot of fun, and we'll see. We'll see where next year takes me. But the plan's to have at least 3 or 4 cars from our team.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, we're about to hibernate for a long time from the racetrack, but not hear from your listening ears, folks, as we're gonna be moving to an. So this is the game plan. I'm letting everyone know. So because I don't like hiding stuff. There's stuff I like hiding. Because I like keeping stuff secret sometimes. After autumn colors. So as long as this weekend goes to plan, I'm not gonna say anything. I gotta talk to the guy still. But as long as the plan is still in motion for this weekend, we will be taking autumn colors off because it is Thanksgiving. And then we'll be taking off until the end of October. Because I think between now and then, I think there's just let people relax for the season. The first one back, then we're going to move into an every other week for the off season. And the first one we're going to do is we're going to have a champions episode again. And Megan, I want you to lead this one.
Oh boy.
We are gonna put out on our socials to reach out to any and all champions, and pretty much I'm gonna play producer that night. I will help out. I will help
have
out.
to do my research.
Just hey, it starts off with how congratulations on the 2022 championship. Tell us about your season. Anyone
is this
you
like
want to think?
a round circle type thing, or is it like one at a time?
It's gonna be one at a time.
Oh, okay. Because I just pictured myself surrounded by all these champions, and I'm like,
no. I was gonna do something similar last year, but I think I lost all the video footage now, so I can't put it up. But that's what I did last year with our champions episode last year, is that we invited all the champions on, and trust me, recording that, good God, I don't even remember the names I had on that. I remember like a few.
Yeah.
I remember having Thomas Wunsch, who was a fun stock champion from Varney. I had Kyle Steckley on there, had Lane Zardo on there. I had, oh my God, who else? I had a few other people too. I know there's a few other people I had on there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and trust me, recording that, I had like 6-7 guys lined up in the waiting room.
Oh my God.
For people who don't know, I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the everything. Literally. I'm not saying you have the easy job, but like Megan shows up and we just talk. Like all I'm posting is like me, just like even so there's times where like we're already recording and I'm typing the questions for the fan question period to her.
Yeah.
Which yeah, is just, but I'm sitting here and I'm trying to get through people, and I'm like, hey, and the people are like messaging me, is like, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm like, yeah, give me 2 minutes on, I'm giving guys 10 minutes, and if I'm sending invites, whoever's first, whoever's first, like I'm just gonna go, like,
yeah.
But I think this year maybe we'll spread it out. Maybe we'll do some recording nights with guests.
Mm-hmm.
Get them to jump on for 10 minutes, cover it, and then be done. Save that, put it into a file. I think that may be what we have to do.
Yeah, I think that would work.
I think that would make a lot more sense. Next weekend, yeah, we're gonna go back to our next weekend. Next weekend, got to check on schedules and make sure everything's lined up. Should be at Flamboro Speedway up for Sunday's Frosttoberfest, Sunday's portion of Frosttoberfest. Hanging out with a certain super stock driver. Not gonna name names. But we're gonna have a special episode. Again, that's something that's gonna be worked out. That episode's not gonna drop that week either, because that's gonna be a lot of footage I gotta go through. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a footage thing that's gonna go overlap. That's gonna be somewhere, that's gonna drop somewhere in the end of October. So I'm gonna need a couple days to go through all that footage, and but that's good. That should be a fun one if we get to do it. You're coming out Sunday for Frosttoberfest?
Yes.
So hopefully I'll see you Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for us. I want to get us out of here. It's been a long day. Take us home here, Megan.
Alrighty.
You got to find it, don't you?
I do. Sorry.
Gosh darn it.
One day
we'll get this down.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the True North Racing podcast. Stay up to date on everything going on by following Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to keep up to date on all the latest content. You can find it on Google, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yeah.
Got him. For John Morrison, I'm Megan Mitchell, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Smell the gas and feel the vibe. Going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing. Let's go.